friends, and welcome back to the Right Away After Party. My name's Kat,
And I'm Nick.
and we're so happy that you joined us. And I hope your New Year's celebrations are well and truly celebrated, and that you are now settled back into some sort of a routine, which sort of is a lovely segue into what we're going to talk about today, right, Nick?
Yes, yes, absolutely. We were talking about the idea of trusting the process. We've all heard this so many times. I mean, when have you not gone to a writer conference or workshop or a lecture or even just hearing, a writer's talk? They always say talk about trusting the process. But what does that mean? Like, let's break that down, like what that actually means, especially if you have never finished an actual book yet. Like if you have not finished an actual project and brought it from beginning to end,
Mm.
how do you even know how to trust the process, because the process hasn't been finished? So it's the idea that, like, so I started thinking about the idea of stick with the process as a new kind of cliche coined idea. So stick with the process. And I think that if you walked into a workshop and they said for you to stick with the process, you may feel a little less intimidated, because trust, a lot of people don't trust. It takes a lot for me to trust anything. So
Mm.
to trust in a whole process, and like, especially when you're in that real slump, like you're just like, oh, this is going nowhere. I'm just so unhappy with this
In
project.
the slump.
Oh yeah. Like just, when you're just having that really bad day. I think if there was a coined phrase of like stick with the process, and that was just kind of in my head and drilled in, it would feel a little different than trust the process. Because and that juncture of just feeling having a really bad day, I don't know if I would have trust.
Mm.
But if I trusted the person that told me to stick with the process, and I trusted that they got through it and they have a published book and they know what they're talking about, then I might stick with the process. I don't know if that makes sense. I hope it does. I mean, it makes sense to me in my brain.
That's the most important part, isn't it?
Yes.
Whatever we hang on to, it's got to be something that makes sense in our own heads. Now,
Yeah.
just to flip back to the cliche, trust the process.
Yes.
Sometimes we are unable to trust the totality of the process from first word to I've got the book in my hand.
Yeah.
That's a long process, and it's a process that goes like this. You have
Yeah.
good days, you have bad days, you have terrible days, you have brilliant days, and all along that gamut, sometimes you might lose hope because the end line is too far away.
Yeah.
So
I
I
see.
think what we need to encourage newer writers, seasoned writers, when you lose hope, go back. Go back to where you were. What took you to that place from A to B? Don't think about A to Z. I mean, A to Z. Don't think about A to Z. Think about A to B.
Yeah.
What process did you stick to
Uh-huh.
from A to B? You go, well, but that was easy because I was only good, good. Go back there to where you were comfortable, to where you were trusting yourself
Yeah.
because you trusted that piece of the process. So go to it, start from there because it might take you from A to C
Yeah. I
in
love
this
that idea.
in this long journey. Does that
Yeah,
break it down a bit?
I think that definitely goes alongside of what I was saying, and I like the idea that, like, just giving the alternative, for the people that don't like the idea of trust, or like just feel like that's just like
True.
something that people just say in a flippant way, and it's definitely not. There is so much truth to that idea of trusting the process. But I could see where the idea of sticking to the process, for me, that was something that I could relate to. I could just relate to that very, very well, because it was something like I believed in the idea of like being able to finish. I did believe in the idea that I could write the words. I just didn't know if I had the trust that it would actually all come together. So
Mm,
if I
mm.
just stuck with it and I could stick with the process and I could just keep, sticking with it and just keep going and, somehow motivating myself through, podcasts like ours or listening to other writers talk about their process, which I love that we have that on our podcast and we're going to do more of coming the year. To me, I was able to, again, to stick to the
Yeah,
process, and ultimately the trust came when I was able to have a finished book. I just think it might be a lot to ask a new writer to trust, trust in the
agreed.
process.
Agreed.
So,
Let's take it to something like gymnastics.
mhm.
Don't they stick the landing?
Yeah, they have to stick
They
the
need
land.
to stick that perfect landing there.
Yes,
But they might not do a great routine, but if they stick the landing, it still shows, hey, I'm still here.
yeah,
I'm still strong. And we're going to have moments where we forget how to believe in ourselves. We're going to forget what the process even was. And like
yeah,
Nick says, go listen to somebody else. Go write to a writer friend. Take a small course. When I
yeah,
say a course, it can just be a 1 hour workshop,
yes,
um, if even that. But
yeah,
stick with people who do what you do. Don't
yeah,
talk to naysayers. They're
yeah,
always going to bring you down. What? You've not finished your book yet? What? You're still working on that chapter? I mean, what a waste of time. Those are the naysayers, my darlings.
yes,
Those are
yes.
the naysayers. Push them to the side. You have no need for those people in your life. They may, however, appear as characters in your book.
That you can
Ah,
kill.
ah, right? And yeah, you can kill them off.
Off with their heads. No, I totally agree with what you're saying, and I think that's a huge part of it is sticking with people that are going to lift you up, going to support you,
Hmm.
going to understand what you're going through because we're all in this together. All writers have very similar stories of like how we
Hmm.
got through, you know, the forest.
Yeah.
But for me, I also, there's like days where I really still, after all this time, I'm like, gosh, do I have it in me to write another book? Like, and can I do that? Like how do I do that? And I was thinking like sometimes it's fun to adopt a new process with a new book. And that could be part of like sticking with the process too. Like, like maybe not stick with the process you have always done, but maybe stick to a new process. Like I mean, for me, I just stumbled upon a new process that I might adopt, and I can't think of the author that gave the process, but maybe that's a good thing. She's definitely very accomplished. It's something that she kind of stumbled upon, but she uses an Excel sheet and she uses the cells as chapters and she writes in each cell like what's going to happen in that scene in that chapter. And sometimes she has to skip different chapters because she doesn't know right away what's going to do. Now, I'm not a planner, I'm not an outliner, but I was something I might want to try with a new book that I want to start, not yet. I'm starting that book in June, but I was thinking about it the other
So
day.
organized. She's so this
I
is her
have way
process.
I'm still, yeah. So that's part of the process, right? Like, I mean, I like to mull things over. I'm kind of a cerebral writer, so I think about a project way longer before I even jump into it. So, but yeah, I
Mm.
love the idea of sticking to the process. Don't necessarily trust the process, but stick to the process, and the trust
So
will come.
in your process,
Yes,
you don't have an Excel spreadsheet, yet you know that in June you're going to start on something new.
yes.
So you've allotted time for these different things. Do you have that written down somewhere?
No, I
Okay,
don't have
but
it written.
you see it as you soar above? Hey, you see, that was her
Yes.
year, her word of the year. I remembered
I
it.
actually am going to commit to getting a whiteboard and writing down my projects and with
Ooh.
some timelines on them because I've never done that before. And I feel like that would be a more grown up into a career kind of
Oh.
thing. And I feel like that's kind of where I'm at now. Like, I feel like with 2026, I'm in, I have an agent. He's, pounding the pavement for me. And I need to start, I'm going to mature into a more professional, like, let's get projects done. Let's see what projects are to come up, what projects need my attention right now.
Yeah.
So
I
I'm
want to know
like,
what you're starting on in June.
what am I starting in June?
Can
What
I ask?
it's that one, it's the project with the young girl that you introduced
The
me to.
sugar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, fun.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I can't wait. What a great book that's
Yeah, so
going to be.
I really want to make sure that I'm professional enough to be on top of that, especially having someone, come in and be a part of that, process with me. I want to make sure that I can be there to support, the young lady that's going to be a part of that project. I want to make sure the project, is completely sound before I even begin it, because I still am in the story stage of that project. So but it's just fun. It's like, I just find it exciting to, the whole idea of like creating a new story. I know it sounds daunting, but see, if you stick with the process and you trust the process, the trust comes,
You just
then
go from A to B.
and then you can do it, and then you just have to keep, even as a seasoned writer, like, you still have to have that trust
Yep.
and
And
stick with it. Stick with the process.
exactly. And remember that, when one project is over, that doesn't mean to say your whole work is over. On the contrary, some people like to have projects kind of going like this. This is
Yeah.
the end of one project, but this project began long before this project finished.
Yeah.
So you don't have that huge slump of,
I think our writing mentor said that to us. She told us a long time ago that, like, towards the tail end of a project, always be writing and revising and editing something new.
and when you turn in a piece of work, have something on the back burner going already.
Yeah,
Again, part of the process is don't don't find yourself in a slump with no idea what to do. You
yeah,
will be in slumps, but there are ways out of every slump,
yeah,
and it's part of the process. The
yeah,
process is
yeah,
okay. What was the trick for getting out of this slump? It's just like when you're on a high. Guess what? Your high is only going to last a little while, and then you're going to
yeah,
start coming down again. And that's okay. What's the process then when I'm coming down? Or what's
yeah,
the process when I'm flying up? Is it going to last forever? Oh, I think it's going to last forever because I feel so. No.
yeah. I think that's another trick too, is like learning what lifts you up, like what feeds you.
Mm-hmm.
For
Mm-hmm.
me, things like this feed me. Like, doing our podcast feeds me. Listening to other writers talk about their process
Yes.
feeds me. You know, and I think that's really important for a writer to figure out. Like, what it's such an output. Writers, we're always outputting. It's like, but what is your input? Like, what do you need in order to become that output? And so I think that's a really important part, an element that you need to figure out
Mm.
as a writer,
Mm.
what feeds you.
For
And
sure.
so I think that's all part of the process. So stick with the process, trust the process.
Whether you call it the process or the process,
Yes.
make it your own. Make it
Yes.
your own, but at the same time, remember that you're not on an island. You're not alone. You can always direct message us if you're stuck in a slump. Either
Yeah.
one of us, you can direct message us and say, what do I do? Where do I go? Because trust me, this is really a group thing. We hang out together because it's good for us and it helps us to get through those difficult times. All right,
Yes.
my darlings, I think the time has ticked down.
Yes. Please like and subscribe to our channel. Please become part of our team. Join the party. We're a party.
Yes.
Join the party.
Yes. And if you want to be on the podcast, direct message us. We would
Yes.
love to interview you.
We love to hear from other writers about their process, especially.
For sure. For
All
sure.
right. All right. It's been a pleasure.
Bye, Nick. Love you.
Bye. Love you. Love you, brave friends.